We have our correspondent Aditya Wadwan. Aditya, we've seen Colombia sort of step back from their initial rhetoric. What can you tell us about what Colombia have said since conceding to Trump and allowing the migrants in?
Well, George, if you see, the Colombian foreign minister has said that we are receiving Colombian nationals who are being deported by the United States of America, and we will continue to receive more Colombian people, including Colombian women, as deportees, and we will also provide them decent conditions to which the Colombian citizens are entitled to as being the citizens of the Colombia. What the Colombian foreign minister has also said that a presidential Colombian place is being readied to bring more number of Colombian deportees from United States of America, as the U.S. military aircraft has started to, begin transporting the deportees back to Colombia, the illegal immigrants who have been, the illegal Colombians who have been living in the United States of America. So, this is a shift as soon as the Trump administration threatened to impose 25% tariffs and sanctions on Colombia, they accepted this deportation measure taken by the United States of America. And let us just remind our viewers that this is the part of Donald Trump's vision of "Make America Great Again" by driving out illegal migrants living in the United States, all the illegal migrants of other countries who are illegally staying in America. Yes, George, back to you in the studio.
Thank you. And joining us as well on this story, we have Ambassador Suresh K. Goel, a former diplomat. Ambassador Goel, we have really seen Trump here flexing his muscles. The threats of tariffs have sort of brought Colombia in line. Do you think this is a behaviour pattern that we're going to see continuing as Trump remains adamant at getting rid of millions of migrants?
Just two or three things here. First of all, I do think that Trump is going to continue with this kind of muscular behavior for some time to come. But I also think that there is a limit to this kind of a behavior, that this kind of a policy behavior and the executive behavior as well, because eventually any kind of punitive measures that you think of, whether they are tariffs or sanctions or visa fees, not allowing the travel, they have their limitations. Eventually, their effect does wither off after some time. And when that happens, then Trump will have to think of what else to do to make it effective. That is number one. Therefore, there will be a limit to this. When it happens, I don't know. Number two, the fact is that under the international law, if there is any illegal immigrant in the country, in the USA, and it has been established that he's staying there without any proper visa or entry documents, but it is proved that he belongs to a particular country. There are many illegal immigrants whose travel documents have been lost, and the lost is within quotation marks. So unless you are able to prove the nationality of the illegal immigrant, where do you send it to? So there is a whole host of complicated issues here. Let us see where it leads to, but ultimately, after some time, I do think that impact of the punitive measures like tariff, etc., will wither off. Josh.
Also joining us to discuss this breaking development is Alok Bansal, a director at the India Foundation. Alok, thank you very much for joining us. There seems to be a strength that Donald Trump has against the nations that he's looking to send these migrants back to. But from Colombia's point of view, Petro stood firm. He's then backed down to the point where he's even going to use his own aircraft to help Trump in deporting these migrants. Do you think this is a pattern that we could see repeating across the South American countries in which these migrants have come to the United States from?
See, there is no doubt that for some time we could see these countries succumbing to the pressure of the United States and Trump presidency. But remember, there will be a blowback. And at some stage, some country will refuse to do so. What Colombia actually did initially could be replicated when it comes to bigger countries like Brazil or Argentina or some other country. And in that case, you will see that the US will start finding it getting isolated on a global arena. Already, I think there is a turbulence in Europe. I could see in the initial days, Euro News reporting that various European states trying to get together, form a collective security organization, the Franco-German proposal for doing so. So if this sort of a unilateralism continues for too long, you would see some sort of a blowback, because there is no doubt, I think there is by and large a majority consensus that illegal migrants need to be sent back. But to my mind, the manner in which they are being sent back, inhumane manner, being handcuffed, chained, I think that needs to be uh, changed, because certain basic human dignity will need to be maintained. Else you will find that there will be reaction to these unilateral US actions, and US popularity, which has not really been very high for some time, will further dip as far as the global arena is concerned.
Yes, Ambassador Goel, in the last few hours we've seen that Trump's administration have started a crackdown within his borders as well. We have this, of course, deportation effort which is going on, but he's also looking to clamp down on migrants and increasing the efforts of people within the US and the bodies within the US to track down these undocumented migrants. What do you think is going to stop him from achieving his aim of deporting millions upon millions, as he said?
I don't think that is stopped. To be very honest, the scourge of illegal migration into the USA is a problem, but that is also dictated by the own economic needs of the USA. Most of these illegal migrants work either in the agricultural sector or as illegal factory labor in the entertainment sector. They are in the clubs all over, and they are a cheap source of labor in the USA, where the cost is already quite high. So I think they do need to be controlled, but they cannot be fully controlled because of the economic parameters. Number two, even the law machinery, or the law, or even the immigration officials, they will have their hands full. How do you send back millions and millions of illegal migrants unless you think that all your airports in the country will deal only with the illegal migrants? I'm sorry, but I think there is a bit of an exaggeration here, and this will peter out after Trump has proved his point. But beyond that, there will be a tapering off.
Yes, Alok Bansal, we're running out of time, but very quickly, looking at recent efforts that have happened in Chicago, comments by the border czar, Trump seems to be getting his wish, and this seems to be Trump's number one goal in office. It's the thing he's throwing most of his weight behind. Do you think that this could potentially impact the economy negatively, of course, with so many people potentially leaving? Do you think this might come back to bite Trump?
See, as of now, he won the election on this particular proposition, and he's giving it its full support. But in the long term, if you actually curtail migration, the economy is bound to suffer. We have seen in the case of Japan, Russia, and many other countries where demographic crunch has led to derailment of economy. The US has managed to counter it by actually encouraging migration, allowing migration to take place. Now, this sort of a strict actions could possibly lead to some sort of an adverse impact on economy. But what is more important is that this sort of drastic actions could see an internal turmoil within US, because already Democrat states are reacting to some of Trump's actions. I don't know how they are going to react to more and more actions as we move forward. At this moment, there is no doubt that Trump rules supreme. He has a clear majority in House as well as in Senate, and I think he'll be able to push through anything that he desires at this point of time.
Alok Bansal, Ambassador Goel, thank you very much.